Dr. Mark Howden from CSIRO's Climate Adaptation Flagship. I lead a cross-organisational activity bringing together the expertise of the organisation in relation to managing climate variability and climate change, in relation to agriculture, fisheries, forestry and mining. The IPCC is the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. It's a body which has been brought together to inform the United Nations on climate change issues. It's supported by 196 governments, and it brings together the best science and the best scientists from around the world to inform the UN, the United Nations, on climate change issues. This is the fifth in a series of reports. The Working Group 2, which deals with the impacts and adaptation, brings together our understanding of how climate change has already impacted on systems around the world. I think the key finding is that there is increased evidence that climate change presents a serious risk to Australia and the world. So climate adaptation is simply changing what we do to get what we want. So it's the idea of adjusting our activities and our policies and our institutions to suit the environment of the day. So it's not restricted to climate change. It's something that humans always do in response to a range of different pressures and stresses or opportunities. There's a whole series of practical adaptation options that we can start to undertake. This is in response to the changes that we're already seeing, as well as those which may happen in the future. CSIRO has been doing many different strands of work that feeds into the IPCC report. Some of it's in relation to agriculture and food security and looking at successful adaptations to future change and to existing change. Some of it's in water resources, where we've been looking at how climate change may affect water flows and how those could be best allocated and institutional arrangements to manage those allocations. We've been involved in coastal zone planning, so starting to build in sea level rise into planning activities so that we can actually look at more effective local government regulation and local government planning activities. How climate change may affect cities, our built infrastructure, and looking at how we can change the materials, the design of buildings, and also the design of whole precincts within cities so they can adjust to climate change. We've also been involved in work on the conservation domain, so looking at how national parks and conservation goals may need to change in the future and what are some of the management activities that support those changes. It's important to adapt sooner rather than later for a couple of reasons. One of these is so that we don't incur additional risk and miss out on opportunities for the changes that we're seeing already and that will happen over the short term. The second reason is that we don't do things now which prevent more effective adaptations in the long term, so that we don't lock ourselves in to pathways which limit our adaptations in the future. So by taking good decisions now, we can actually bring economic and social environment benefit for the future.